on YouTube? It's Jeff Tuffin here, back with episode 16 of the Glorious Podcast, Smackdown Live Review, July 26th, 2017 edition of Smackdown Live. And did they make up for that shit pay-per-view Battleground? Did they make up for that pay-per-view big time? This might have been the best episode of Smackdown Live since it went live last year. It was actually a year ago today. So, I mean, this show was amazing last night, guys. WWE this week just threw like the towel in on Battleground. But then they went out there on Monday, put on a pretty good episode of Raw. Not the best, but a pretty good, acceptable episode of Raw on Monday. And then they give us this on SmackDown, this amazing episode of SmackDown that like was almost good from beginning to end. I mean, if you didn't watch SmackDown, normally I would probably just recommend you go back and watch something, a certain match or two, a couple particular things. But if you didn't watch this episode, I'd recommend go back and watch this one from beginning to end, in its entirety, all 2 hours of it. Skip through the commercials, obviously, but this was a good show. It was a really good show. And, Kevin Owens opens the show. AJ Styles confronts him, and then the unthinkable happens. We get the return of Jericho. Welcome back, man. Very unexpected. I didn't see that coming. Nobody saw it coming. I missed those days when, you didn't know when somebody was going to return. And Jericho surprised everyone. There were no reports on the dirt sheets, nothing. There was nothing that had any, there was no speculation that Chris Jericho would show up on SmackDown last night. Nothing. I didn't hear anything about Jericho, so I couldn't believe it at first. When I first heard, I just walked out, and then I thought KO's trolling us. It's just KO's going to play his music, get all the fans hyped up. He's not actually going to show up. And then the next thing you know, there's Jericho on the stage. Couldn't believe it. So now you get Jericho back. Thank God he's back on SmackDown. I had this awful feeling he'd eventually come back and he'd be on Raw again. But he's on SmackDown, so that's good. And then we get Styles, Owens, Jericho in a main event match for the United States Championship Triple Threat. I thought Shane was going to announce it for SummerSlam, but I'm like, wait, they're going to give us to it tonight? So I'm thinking there's going to be something's going to happen or whatever. They're going to, the match will eventually get called off and they'll save it till SummerSlam. But that's not what happened. They went on with the match. They gave them a good amount of time. Once I saw the entrances happen, I looked at the clock. It was only 9:35. I'm like, oh boy, they're about to get good time here. It's very possible we could see a title change here too. And that's what happened. AJ Styles wins the title back. There was speculation that KO winning the title at Battleground wasn't actually supposed to happen. Apparently, something was changed last second. Styles didn't even know about it, and he was completely shocked after the match. There were videos of him completely going crazy in the ring with the referee or whatever. Apparently, he wasn't even supposed to lose the title. I mean, the United States title has become the Raw Women's title last fall when it was changing hands every week. I mean, Styles won it at MSG a few weeks ago, lost it to KO at Battleground, won it back on SmackDown, and now we're getting another match next week. KO versus Styles straight up. I thought WWE got rid of the rematch clause thing. I guess it still exists for the United States title because there's rematches every week now, basically. But we get that next week. So anyway, the opening segment's good. It eventually leads to the match we just talked about. Shinsuke Nakamura takes on Baron Corbin, a rematch from Battleground. This match was much better than their Battleground match. This was definitely better. Nakamura gets the win back on Corbin. I think this feud was a kind of a one-and-done feud. They're going to go their separate ways now, I think. I am going to do another video later this week. My predictions for the SummerSlam card. I've kind of put something together yesterday. I was looking at what could be the SummerSlam card, and if it is indeed kind of goes with most of the predictions I had for it, SummerSlam could be a very good pay-per-view. It could be better than WrestleMania on the same year that a WrestleMania pay-per-view was actually very good. So that's a lot to say about SummerSlam. But Nakamura gets a win back on Corbin. Then we get women's tag action. Charlotte and Becky defeat Lana and Tamina, and now they're creating tension between Lana and Tamina, even though they just put them together 2 weeks ago. I have no clue what they're doing with them. I have no clue what's going to happen with the rest of the SmackDown Women's division. I mean, we got Natalya versus Naomi for the title at SummerSlam, which they did nothing last night to kind of convince me that this will be a good build for this and a good, feud. I mean, the match could be good. No question about that at SummerSlam, but the build, what are they going to do to build? They had a pretty decent backstage segment, but that's just clearly not enough. They need to go higher levels with this or something. I don't know. Jinder Mahal goes on to announce who he'll face at Summer. He demands a SummerSlam opponent. So, this was about as predictable as anything. I mean, if you couldn't predict who would confront Mahal for his SummerSlam challenge here or whatever, for the WWE title, I mean, it was just about as predictable as it gets. John Cena. I don't know, when Mahal was speaking in his language or whatever, I didn't understand the thing he was saying, but he said John Cena. I swear he said John Cena before John Cena even came out. I don't know if he was supposed to say that or what he was saying. Maybe I couldn't understand. I mean, maybe someone who understood the language. He said John Cena. And then Cena came out. But then Daniel Bryan eventually comes out and says, you got to earn things around here. And then he goes on to announce, next week, we're going to get John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura, #1 contenders match for the WWE Championship. Winner faces Mahal at SummerSlam. This is happening next week on SmackDown. Not at SummerSlam, not at WrestleMania. Next week on SmackDown Live for it's free. No network, nothing. No pay-per-view, just on SmackDown. Next week, John Cena, Shinsuke Nakamura. This is a dream match right here, guys. This is that kind of match you dream about. You think it's never going to happen. You can only go play it in, the WWE 2K game or whatever. But it's happening next week, and it's not even a pay-per-view. They're just giving it away on SmackDown. I mean, many people are complaining, why would they do this? Why would they give it away for free? Why would they, not save it for SummerSlam? Why would they not save it for WrestleMania? I kind of understand what they're doing. I mean, whatever to bring in ratings. SmackDown's on a roll right now compared to what we just saw last night. They're coming off a great show last night. Going into next week, you already got another United States title match, Kevin Owens and Styles, and you got John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura, which is presumably will be the main event of the show. Now the question now becomes who will win that match and who will take on Mahal for the title. My first initial thought would be Cena. But then thinking about it more, I think, people are right when they said it's probably going to be some kind of crazy finish or whatever that somehow both men will get into the match and it'll be a triple threat. I honestly don't like the idea of this being a triple threat. I kind of almost want it to be just Mahal versus Cena straight up. Nothing against Nakamura. I just feel like, I don't even know, I don't know, maybe Nakamura versus Mahal. I just do not want to see a triple threat. And I don't think they'll have Nakamura beat Cena one-on-one clean, but I don't think they want to have Cena beat Nakamura one-on-one clean. So it's kind of a tough situation here. I think for Shinsuke Nakamura, what's going to eventually happen for him, initially, what I was thinking was Cena wins this match or somehow. Nakamura goes on to face Styles for the U.S. title at SummerSlam. I'd much rather see Styles versus Nakamura one-on-one and then Mahal versus Cena, rather than, I don't know who Styles face at SummerSlam if he's not facing Nakamura. But then I saw the SummerSlam poster and I was looking at it, and just based on the SummerSlam poster, I almost think they are going to have somehow both men get into the match and it will be a triple threat, which is interesting. I mean, I still think somehow Cena's going to win. I honestly personally think Mahal should win. I think they should have Mahal win at SummerSlam, surprise everybody. It would be a great decision in my opinion. But then again, they won't do that. They'll probably have Cena win again. But as for Nakamura, I feel like he'd just be better fit for a match with Styles at SummerSlam. I feel like that would just be more exciting. I feel like that would even be better than Cena versus Mahal. I mean, Nakamura versus Styles. I mean, would you rather have... I get it's for the WWE title, but would you rather have Nakamura versus Mahal or Nakamura versus Styles? Or Nakamura versus Cena versus Mahal? I'd rather have Nakamura versus Styles and then just Cena versus Mahal. Then we could get, something else down the road or whatever, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Tag team action. Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger take on Mike Kanellis and Aiden English. The good guys pick up the win, Zayn and Dillinger. Nothing special here. It'll be interesting to see. They better use Ty Dillinger in a legitimate feud for SummerSlam, or I'm going to be pissed. Because if they don't, there would have, if they don't use Ty Dillinger in a significant role at SummerSlam, where he's in a pretty, significant storyline and a match that's actually valuable or something on the card, not versus Aiden English on the pre-show, there would almost have been no point in calling Ty Dillinger up to the main roster, because they could have just waited until the SmackDown after SummerSlam to call him up at this point, because he's done practically nothing but take on Aiden English since coming up to the main roster. I mean, he's disappeared. He's wrestled in just about every dark match SmackDown's had. So I don't know. And then Sami Zayn, same story. I want to see him in a legitimate match too. So I don't know what they're going to do there. The New Day are attacked by the Usos. They're going to get another match at SummerSlam. I didn't expect the New Day to win the titles at Battleground, but I guess they only had to do it because they figured it was WWE got themselves in a tough spot with having that the dumb Battleground pay-per-view because the WWE didn't want to have that pay-per-view, but they needed to do something on that pay-per-view because if the New Day didn't win the titles, that was probably only one of the good parts. The New Day Usos match was pretty good to open the show. The New Day win the titles, but I feel like WWE didn't want to put the titles on the New Day yet. I feel like they wanted to wait till SummerSlam, but then they kind of realized they weren't going to have anything happen at Battleground if they didn't do that. So that's why they went on and gave the New Day the titles then, rather than wait till SummerSlam. But I do expect a rematch to be put in line between these two. I was expecting some kind of crazy Fatal 4-Way match, but I do think this will be a one-on-one match at SummerSlam. Well, two-on-two, rather, with some stipulation added to it. I don't know. Maybe 2 out of 3 falls. That would be interesting. Then again, I don't know if they have time for like 2 out of 3 falls matches at SummerSlam because it's going to be a lot of matches at SummerSlam. I mean, yeah, it will be a 4-hour pay-per-view, one of the big 4 pay-per-views and all. We'll probably have a 2-hour pre-show. It's pretty long. It'll be about 6-hour, 7-hour show as usual, kind of almost like WrestleMania time again. But I don't know. We'll see where that goes as well. And then the main event, we already talked about it. AJ Styles wins back the U.S. title. I personally wasn't surprised that he won it back. Like, I popped for it, and I was like, he won it. It was cool and all, but like, I almost saw the title changing. I saw it possibly going to Jericho or Styles, but Styles gets it back. They did tease something backstage, though. KO lost the title. They teased a Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens match, and I do think we're going to get this match at SummerSlam. I think Styles will somehow retain the title next week against Owens. Styles will go on to face Nakamura at SummerSlam. And I think we'll get Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon at SummerSlam.